morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. So, thank you all for coming today. Have you ever wondered why SQI graduates, do well wherever they are, in top organizations and, all over the world? That's why we're here today. That's what MindTalk wants to replicate here. Are we together? And we're going to be starting now. I would like us to rise up on our feet as we honor our great country, Nigeria. Thank you. For those of you that watched the AFCON yesterday, it's not a big deal. Let's still honor our country. Let's have the national anthem. We're going to be singing the first stanza, followed by the SQI anthem. The national anthem first. Or the second stanza, sorry. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help my youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Raise lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Let's take this SQI anthem. So I'll just read through and we'll sing after that. So it says, time, we do not have it all the time, so we cherish every moment and give it all our best. And team, we cannot do it all alone. We believe in team spirit, working together. And so the greatest invention of all time, given by the creator to make us co-creators. And tech, this is our goal for Africa. For so long we've been receiving, it's time that we shall give to the world. Let's have it. We do not have it all the time, so we cherish every moment and give it all our best and team. We cannot do it all alone. We believe in team spirit, working together and mind. The greatest version of all time, invented by the Creator to make us co-creators. This is our goal for Africa. For so long we've been receiving, each time we shall give to the Lord. Making Africa a tech continent. One mind at a time. Making Africa a tech continent. One mind at a time. Thank you. We can have our seat. Let's give a round of applause as we welcome the community manager to our list.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. All right, can we give Dollar Foundation another round of applause? All right, good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A heartfelt welcome to students of SQI Main Campus, SQI Iwo Road Campus, SQI Dugbe Campus, SQI Challenge Campus, SQI Abeokuta Campus, and SQI Metro Campus. Thank you very much. I also want to express special recognition to all SQI instructors joining us from all over campuses, acknowledging the presence of the director of SQI, College of ICT, the current rector, the pioneer rector in absentia, the registrar, and every stakeholder in this institution. And a warm welcome to our online attendees tuning in from different parts of the world. I bid you welcome. Welcome to MindTalk in February 2024. Like I always say, if you just joined us for the first time, MindTalk is the once in a month event that comes up every first Monday of the month. And it is born out of a passion to raise students who will become leaders, who are well-behaved, experienced, and excellent. If you were here last month, the director talked extensively about the what, how, and why of excellence. And in this month of February, we will be delving deep into the same thing, the theme of excellence in career. And I'm so sure that it's going to be a great time today. My name is Mercy Ajibade, and I will be guiding you through today's event. Thank you so much for being here. All right, in the next few seconds, I'll be calling on Sheung Adeyeri to take up the January's book review. So let's welcome, with a round of applause, Sheung Adeyeri, the January's book.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'll be reviewing the book of last month's MindTalk, So Good They Can't Ignore You, by Report. So this book came to life due to the mission of this great author, which is Report. During his mission, he came about 5 rules. 5 rules. And I'll be talking about this rules shortly. The number 1 rule is do not follow your passion. Do not follow your passion. Yes, this rule argued that following your passion, or the passion hypothesis or theory, is actually a very bad advice. Right? Follow your passion, like if someone advises you to follow your passion, is actually a very bad advice. And this author gave us some example of a man called Thomas, whose passion was to become a monk, right? Was to attend the Zen Academy. But on following that passion, Thomas realized that this passion of his is not making him happy. It's not giving him happiness, and it's not changing anything in his life, right? So that's why the author, Report, came to a conclusion that following your passion is actually a very bad advice. So now, you might ask me, okay, if I do not follow my passion, what should I do? Now that brings us to the second rule. The second rule is so good they can't ignore you. So good they can't ignore you. So this writer came and said, if you cannot follow your passion, you can only do one thing. You can only improve your skill. Improve your skills to the extent that people will not be able to ignore you. Right? That's when he talked about the career, the craftsman mindset. Right? The craftsman mindset is thinking about what you can actually give to the world, and not what the world can give to you. You understand? What you can actually give to the world, and not what the world can give to you. And the author said, if you have this this craftsman mindset, you will actually have happiness in what you do, or you actually love what you do. So, like I said, the author was trying to figure out why people actually love what they do, why people end up loving what they do. So that's why he gave us the first rule: do not follow your passion. If you want to love what you do, you must not follow your passion. Instead of following your passion, focus on improving your skills. The author made a quote, like the author made a definition of something. He said, how do you define great work? Right, in that same second rule, how do you define great work? Right, I said great work are rare and valuable. But in order to get great work, or in order to get that rare and valuable work, you need to have something rare and valuable to give back. And what you have that is rare and valuable is your skills. So you need your skills to get a great work, which means you need something rare and valuable to give back to get a rare and valuable work. Right? So you might ask me, or the question that someone asked the writer was, how do I know a great work? How do I know a job is a great job? Right? That was when the writer, or Report, listed out 3 traits that defines a great work. Right? He said, number 1, creativity. Creativity. A great work has creativity in it. And number 2 is the impact. Once you know you are impacting people, or you are impacting the world, you are impacting a particular place, just know you are doing a good job. And number 3 is control. That's the most important. Control. Once you have control over your work life, right, you are actually having a good job or a great work, right? So now to get this great work, you need to have a rare and valuable skill. And this rare and valuable skills, according to the author, is called a career capital. Now, a capital is used to like push or start a business, right? So now, a career capital is used to push or sustain your career. So that was all what the second group was talking about. Building your skills, improving your skills to get a great job or to get a great work, right? And then, right after that, I was like, okay, if I have these skills and I have this job, I have this skill, I have this job, what else can I do? Now that takes us to the third rule, which means decline a promotion or I've forgotten the. So it was like, in order to get what do you call it? In order to enjoy or love what you do, you need what we call control. Like I said in the last control. Control is like the most important thing in having a very great job, right? So he went ahead and said, to gain control or to pursue control, you have to first of all gain more career capital. Then again, we're going back to building our skills, right? We'll go back again to building our skills. So the more career capital you have, the more skills you put. And now that takes us to the fourth and the last group, mission, having a mission. Yeah, the author made us realize, or maybe realize that having a mission can actually make you enjoy your work or love what you do. So now let me summarize this for you. So in order to love what you do, you must first of all not follow your passion. If you follow your passion, you can end up regretting that path. And if you cannot follow your passion, you must develop your skills in order to get great work. And when you develop this to get a great work, you must be able to control your job. Like you need to use your career capital to purchase control over your job. And once you purchase control over your job, you'll be able to enjoy your job more. And lastly, get a mission. Once you have enough career capital, you can now set down a mission, which will also enable you to love your job. So these are the things that the author said, and I'll make you love what you do. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Sheikh. Another round of applause for Sheikh. That was an amazing delivery. Well done. Okay, how many of us want to be so good that they can't ignore us? How many of us? How many of us want to be so good that they can't ignore us? How many of us? Okay, so I think some people are not raising their hands. Okay, how many of us read that book last month? You want to be so good that they can't ignore you. They are not reading the book. You are not putting in the effort. How many of us are thinking and are planning towards reading the book for this month? What's happening? Is it that this deck is choking like that? Why is nobody? How many of us? So can we have more people? Can we have more people? Come on now, raise this hand up now. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Alright, I'll be going to the lab for Deshala to give us an hint about the book for February. So let's welcome the lab for Deshala.
Thank you. Hello once again. The next book we'll be reading for this month, the month of February, is called, it's a very interesting topic, or interesting title. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? How many of us have read the book? Just one person. Oh, you've read the book, great. If you've read the book like I've done, it's a very, very interesting one. It's a book that is emphatic on change. Next slide, please. Emphatic on change. Life, like you can see on the slide, doesn't always turn out the way we think it will. Is that right? You know, there are many things, that happen in our lives that, sometimes expected, sometimes it's not expected. So, and this book emphasizes on, how we can deal with change. What is change? Change represents the unknown that challenges our sense of safety and sense of security. Not everybody likes change. Is that right? How many of you are comfortable with change? You plan A, B, C, D, and all of a sudden it's A, B, J, K, L, Z, Life can be very funny like that. So this book, the author of this book makes us, or allows us to see change or identify change, anticipate change, adapt to change. Because if there are changes in your life and you cannot adapt to it, it becomes a problem. So in the book, actually this book is it's not like the last one we read. The last one was very, very interesting. This one is a very short book that I'm sure you really enjoy. And one thing that's really nice is that a copy of the book is at the librarian's office. So if you want to read the book, you can, just check it there and sit down to read. So there are 4 characters in this book, and the 4 characters in this book, they represent the complex and simple parts of us as humans. The first 2 represent those who identify change early and spring into action immediately. And one of the other 2 denies and resists change, just like some people, myself included. There are times in my life where I get to experience change, and I pretend as if things are not changing, and I deny it. So one of the other 2 denies and resists change as it fears it will lead to something worse. Many of us don't want to change because we're afraid. And when you read this book, it helps you overcome your fear. The last guy, after there are 4 characters. The last guy, after delay, learns to adapt in time, and he quickly sees changing can lead to something better. So this year, I said something last month that this year is all about doing. It's not just about not agreeing for anybody, you get, which we all started with. But it's not just about that. It's about doing things that you've probably never done before, getting out of your comfort zone, right? So, and many of you here, you're students, you're at every different stages of your careers. You experience change, your classes. If you're a developer, if you're not updated, you'll be left behind. How many of you agree? Things get, updated all the time. So you shouldn't be that developer that is comfortable with, where you are at the moment. You should always be updated with time. So it's a very, very interesting book, and the book review comes up every Friday of every week, where we gather together, we review the book, and we share interesting insights about the book. I would like and appreciate every single person here to be committed to this. The goal this year is to read 12 books this year, and we're done with 1, right? The second one is this: Who Moved My Cheese? And I look forward to having you guys on the book review. Thank you so much.
Let's give the Read the Book team a round of applause again. When you're coming downstairs, how many of us noticed the banner downstairs with MindTalk, the agenda? How many of us noticed it? I think it's actually a very beautiful idea. Don't you think so? Don't you think so?
Yes.
What's happening this morning? Is it the court? Don't you think so?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you think so?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because of that, let's appreciate the protocol team by giving them a round of applause. And of course, the media team as well. The media team has been doing a whole lot, so let's appreciate them. So at this moment, we have the media team, we have the Read the Book team, we have the protocol team, and if you would love to join them, just see any of our SQI officials around, and they will tell you how to join any of this department. All right. For the new students joining us, I would like to remind you of our tagline here at SQI. When I say making Africa a tech continent, you will reply me with one mind at a time. Making Africa a tech continent?
One mind at a time.
Let's give it more energy. Making Africa a tech continent?
One mind at a time.
Making Africa a tech continent?
One mind at a time.
Making Africa a tech continent?
One mind at a time.
All right, thank you very much. All right, like I said earlier, last month, the director was our guest, and he talked extensively about the what, why, and how of excellence. If you remember, maybe like one or two lessons from last month's edition? Can I see your answer? Because I remember, everything is here. Everything is here. I was at Warroad campus, and I was noting everything. So you, that you were here last month, did you write anything down? Did you notice anything? Did you remember anything?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I'm coming to you. Not that you be saying yes without. Are you sure?
Yes,
okay, can I see your hands up? Even if it's just one thing. Even if it's just one thing. Can I see your hands up? Alright. Favor. Abi? Favor, I did see. Alright. What did you remember from last month?
Good morning, ma'am. So I think I remember, but I can't say what I said. So he said, the good remains the best until the best comes in.
Say it again.
The good remains the best until the best comes in.
Wow. Wow. That's an amazing word. The good remains the best until the best comes in. Who remembers any other thing again? Sorry, sir. Who remembers any other thing? Okay. Can you please come? Can you please come? And I'm sure that everybody is with their pen and their jotter today. Even if you just be jotting it on your phone. I don't want to hear any excuse next month. Please.
Okay, I remember that you said excellence is the extra thing you add that others don't take notes to. That the extra thing you add, just not doing the things regularly, but saying that this thing can make this thing better. That's excellence.
Yeah, awesome. Let's give a round of applause again. Can we have one more person? Alright, please come forward. As he's coming forward, let's welcome him. Let's welcome him. Please, today, even if it's on your phone, make sure you jot something. Make sure you jot something. If you're not with your pen or your jotter, make sure you jot something today.
Okay. I think what I most importantly learned last week was from Paul, and he said, he made mention of habits, and he said habits are things you repeat over a period of time that becomes a part of you. And as short as it might have sounded, by the time I sat down and actually looked at it, I was able to reminisce on it and realize that it's actually like that, and it's actually true. So I think we should all just cultivate a pattern of doing positive things, more or less, that improve us, and over a period of time, it becomes an habit, and you are just flawlessly good.
All right, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you. So our God is the God of second chance. Our God is the God of many chances. So I will go through my notes again and make sure this time you are jotting something down, please. Please, I'll go through my notes again. I'll just brief through before we move on to the next session, the panel session for today. The panel session for today. So last month, the director talked about the why of excellence, and these are the 3 points that I wrote down. Number 1, we are made to serve and contribute as a person. Number 2, the more, the more. Number 3, we need to attract, the why of excellence is to attract wealth to ourselves. The word of excellence is that we need to do it well, because doing it well means excellence. Number 2, excellence is extra. Excellence is extra. And number 3, excellence is being truthful. Excellence is being truthful. I remember I was sharing a few scenarios with the SK Road campus last month, and I talked about a particular guy we are working with, and he's not being truthful in his deals, right? So in all that you do, even if you are excellent at it, also add truthfulness. So when you say you're going to deliver this time, make sure you deliver. You say you're going to do it this way, make sure you do it this way. But in all that you do, add excellence to it. And then the hour of excellence is that you must value excellence. Number 2, do not settle for average. Number 3, pay attention to details. Number 4, go extra mile. And number 5, commit to what really matters. And know that excellence is class. Excellence is class. You cannot price it down. Excellence is class. You cannot price it down. For today, like I said earlier, we'll be having conversations with a few of SQI alumni who started very little but doing something amazing. So some of them will be joining us virtually on Google Meet, but we have one of them here today, and the director and I will be having a conversation with him, and I want you to please jot everything down. This is going to be like a paradigm shift moment for you. It's going to be like from a grass to grace story, because it's going to be sharing your experience with you. So I don't know how you came into SQI, but I want to promise you that you will not leave the same way you came. So have an open mind today and be ready for an amazing moment. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage the director of SQI College of ICT with a standing ovation. With a standing ovation. Let's make welcome Dr. Adeyemi Ademuto. Before you sit down, let's make welcome the lead software developer at Edosia/SQI consultant, February Afolabi. Alright. Thank you very much. Let's have a seat. Thank you so much for that. Good morning, Mr. Favor.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you doing today? Alright, thanks so much for joining us today. We've had a few conversations here and there. And I've also gone through your LinkedIn profile, right? I know you started from SQI, right? And I've heard your story. It's like from a grass to grace story. I've heard it a couple of times. And for people who are just joining us for the first time, I would like you to tell us a bit about your journey into SQI and how excellence has helped your career so far.
Thank you very much for that. It's a pleasure being with us today. Good day, everyone. So I'm asked to share a bit about my journey into SQI and how excellence has helped the journey. There's one very important story I used to share when it comes to this matter. It's how I got to know about SQI. Being from Ogbomoso, SQI is almost everywhere in Ogbomoso. Good things about the institution. So I heard it from the radio, but at that time, I would say there was not that capacity to attend the institution yet. And the second thing is that I'm a LATEX student. I was a LATEX student. So one of those days I was working within the campus, and I happened upon one junction like that. They were having an event, people were there, and just straying past, I saw this flyer on the floor. I just like to share that part of the story. It's just how these little things matters many times. I saw this flyer on the floor. It was half cut. When you give someone flyer and they cut it. Maybe that person didn't know that it was an opportunity. They did that too. He got the flyer. Maybe the person just felt, what's this one? They cut it like into two. Dropped one piece. I picked up that piece. I was just looking into it and continued walking. I walked a few meters ahead and I saw the other piece. So I joined it together, and lo and behold, that was SQI scholarship flyer. That was the first time I was hearing about it. So I was just like, what if I didn't pick this? Anyway, that was the beginning of the story. I picked up that flyer, pieced together both halves, and I saw that SQI was having scholarship. Amazing enough, I took the test when I knew about it. The last Saturday that the test was holding. The test was holding every Saturday then. It was to close by 3 p.m. I took mine maybe 2 something. That was it. It's just somehow. I think the lesson from that is that when we see opportunities like that, one, they don't have to be delayed. If I had delayed a few days later and I say maybe I'll go next week, I'd have missed it. And honestly, truth be told, I don't know where I would be now if I didn't take that opportunity. I don't know. The person that took the flyer, I don't know where the person is. Maybe doing good somewhere else. Yes, definitely. So I got into SQI through that scholarship. I took software engineering as a course. Mind you, I was taking agricultural economics in LAUTECH. That time, agricultural economics. And someone is saying, so how does agric and software programming, how do they relate? I've had many persons discuss that. I'm taking a course in school, I can't come into that. And maybe you are falling online and you feel, maybe there's not much for me in that area because I'm taking medicine, I'm taking biochemistry, I'm taking physiology. Let me mention this, that whatever field you are currently in, there is always that part that ICT can augment for you. So I was taking economics, and for me, coming into SQI was like a career shift. I was in 100 level, but my career totally changed. Like, totally changed. It's not as though I was doing bad in school. I was in 100 level. My grade at that time was 7. I was in 4.47, trusting that the coming semester, the 0.03 to make first class will be added. Maybe it was added or not, I don't know. But the career changed. If I had followed that path, maybe by now, going for NYSC and coming out, I would look for one secondary school where I can be teaching economics or teaching agricultural science. And because I did a bit of math, maybe they'll put me in JSS3 class to prepare them for their external examination. And that's good. But coming into SQI gave me a better story. Because of my training at SQI and that career shift that happened, I've had to work on many softwares, not just softwares now, enterprise level applications that industries, not just in Nigeria, across the world are using, and I'm proud of it. So anytime I remember that, So every time I remember that there is one boss somewhere, one president of an institution somewhere, one boss of an institution somewhere, one governor, one working using the piece of software I built on a team in his office, I'm proud of it. I mean, that is much okay. Maybe I should not say much greater than having to teach mathematics in a school, but that gifted me a better career to follow. And the amazing thing about it is that it's not fixed, it's progressive. It's a journey that I can keep working on to get much better at it. And that's the beautiful thing. So sharing about what excellence has done for me in that regard. While I was thinking about it maybe yesterday or this morning or so, I saw that being a software developer, there's almost, okay, I was having this conversation with Mr. Dulako a few days ago too. But there's almost no field in human endeavor that you won't eventually get to work with. So for example, one of the softwares we built was automating accounting processes. The things that chartered accountants do after 5 years of training, 7 years of training. So we built a piece of software that automates everything at once. So I was in conversation with someone, this person I believe is a chartered accountant. He has decades of experience working on accounting. And while we were conversing, he had to ask a question at some point. He said, "What course did you do in school? Are you an accountant?" I just smiled at agri-economics. Agri-economics. But what the career that SQI gifted me as built is that versatility to be able to enter into any field, and with the excellent mind that we have cultivated from here, able to do even excellently well in all of those fields. So there's almost, I was having that conversation, like I said, we are saying maybe next year we'll go into law. So that even with that too, we'll create something that takes some lawyering jobs, something like that. But that's how it is. That's how it is. That when you are equipped with a skill, when you have the excellent mind being communicated, there's almost no place you cannot try, regardless of where you are coming from. Like I said, it was agri-economics. And if I tell you how the agri-economics came to be, you would. It's a very, very senior story. I mean, to pay for the tuition fee down the level was hard. Maybe I share a bit about that. Please permit me just about 3 minutes. If you were in that set that time, 2016, we entered with a tuition fee of 65,000 naira. 65,000 naira. And my parents then struggled to meet the 65,000 naira. Took all kinds of debt, all kinds of loans just to be able to meet that. But before our first day of resumption, LATEX said our tuition fee was now 120. I don't know how to tell them at all. I mean, you told us 65,000 naira. These people tried every means to pull 65,000. And now to enter first semester, we have to pay 120. Where do I start from? So it was that difficult. It was that difficult. But let me mention this to you. That was the last time they had to pay tuition fee from home. That was the last time. That one they struggled to. That was the last time. Yes, that's how it is. That was the last time. Okay, maybe in the conversation further, we'll maybe delve into some of that. But that was, let me straight it further. That was the last time they had to pay tuition fee. Not just for myself, but even the ones coming after me. That's what it is. Yes. So it was that pain that it took that time, that coupled with the skills and excellence gotten at SQI, that charted many of these progressive courses, many of these progressive pathways. And really, Someone that struggled to pay 65, going into 120, getting up that night with a flyer that I want to take a course at SQI and I'm going to pay this amount was another story entirely. But they pulled it through, they paid all of the sacrifice, tried every means possible to pull it, and it is paying off now, and it will continue to pay off. Thank you very much.
Let's give him another round of applause. Is it safe to call Mr. Favor a boss man? Don't you think so? I think he's actually a boss man. I mean, come on. All right, Mr. Favor. You said something that struck me. You said coming into SQI was like a career shift for you, right? SQI, so far, the things I've learned about SQI, that SQI loves excellence, right? And I noticed that if you are not excellent in doing little things, SQI will not commit big things into your hands. So did you remember a particular story where you were actually required to do something, but then that excellence made a change and has brought you this far? Look, you are the lead software developer at SQI at this moment, and I know what it means. SQI is a huge institution. Now, if you're not excellent, like I said, do not be in this position. So did you remember a particular story that's actually changed that journey, that progression in your career for you?
Thank you very much for that. Leadership mentioned that I looked through a couple of events and occurrences, and I've decided to stay with one. I'll just share that one. When I got into SQI, I started as an intern. I joined, that was, like I said, 100 level. Going into 200, I became an intern at SQI. It was a transition from student to internship. I think one of the things that made that happen was the excellent mind that SQI has communicated, and that's how it is with every alumni that passed through the institution. My set that time, if I can remember well, currently there is no one amidst that set that is staying idle. No one. I look at my set, the set before me, the set after me. No one that is staying idle, and that is attributed to the skill and the excellence that SQI impacted into us. So yes, that's what celebration actually, because if you check, you'll be seeing Chief Technology Officer, social company, you'll be seeing Lead Software Developer, social company, you'll be seeing, that's how it is across all these tech organizations. So this event that I remembered was when I joined as an intern, and we had to build a software to automate the whole accounting department. To be more specific now, payroll. Yes, maybe you don't know about that, I'm going to share briefly. For big organizations, one of their major ethics is payroll. Managing that pay is just so much. It's just so much. That organization that time, if they want to pay, let's say, March salary, they begin the processing from January. That's how it is. Because there's just so much to compute. Imagine having over 1,000 staff strength, and each person having about 10 different components of what to pay them, what to remove. It's just too much for one person. They had a whole department to manage that. You can imagine that. Maybe like 10 persons just to sit down and calculate payroll. And what SQI decided to do that time was to pack out a whole department and replace it with one software. Say one software.
One software.
One software. Pack out a whole department and replace it with just one software. So I joined as an intern, and that was my very first experience with such a large enterprise application. From what I've learned in school, yes, we could craft the database, craft the design, and just do something quickly and present to them. But I saw the details of that implementation, the details in security architecture, the details in database architecture, the details in every part of the software, and I'm wondering, wow. In many places, you would see people say, want to build such a project, and in one day they are done crafting, and by the following week you say, a software is here, and you hear something like, we're raising a fund, and the process just goes like that. In a few weeks, everything's ready. I saw how SQI took the time to plan every details for that software. It's one of the reasons why that software is still existing till today after many years, and definitely is not ready to go out of the way, not anytime soon. Because such softwares that are crafted with that level of excellence, they have the depth. So that communicated something to me that time. You are not here for play. This is work. You are not here to just scratch on the surface. Yes, the word is deep work. I learned that practically with SQI. Deep work. That we don't just do it so that it could work. No, not so that they could have something to use. It has to have that depth that years to come, decades to come, this thing is still relevant and still solving the needs. So when I'm asked that, how has SQI imparted this excellence and how is it helping? That was one of the events that shaped the career for me. There's almost nothing I want to enter into now that I'll be satisfied with the service work. My students know this when I was taking classes. It's the same thing that was imparted into us. You don't do service work and say you are done. No, you don't do something. One of those days during JavaScript class, we were given a timer to build. My instructor that time, I was fortunate to have the Dr. Ade as an instructor. Oh my God, I wish you know what that is. So we were given a timer to build, and it was to be built over a weekend. A timer, a stopwatch, about 3 things like that over one weekend. So when some students say now that it's too much for one day, I'll be like, really? So in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have to submit on Monday morning the 3 applications. That time, of course, you know, it won't take something less from you. So I spent all of the time trying to do it out. And if you copy code online, it will know. There's almost no way such people will spot that and say, are you the one that wrote this line? And you start stammering, you'll be like, someone help me. Say you are not ready. You do this again, your own code this time. It's like a case of you do 2 plus 2 in class, 3 plus 3, 5 plus 5, and your assignment is 2a plus 4 equals 8. Find a, something like that. But you have all of the skill needed to make that happen. That time it will train us this way. It will write all of the code, build everything. We are not typing, we are just learning it. And after a few seconds, it will clear the code and say you should recreate it. And you'll be wondering, how do I do it? The statement that time was that it's in your mind. You saw it while I was creating it. If you were following, it's in your mind. So build your own. And magically, we start creating. So that event I was sharing, I just did what I was supposed to do, what I felt I've done. Then I brought the work on Monday morning. It was working. I tested it. I tested the software, the applications. They were working. And then I got to the class that morning. It tested with the first test case. It survived it. The second test case, it survived it. And by the third test case, I saw my application, my countdown timer go from 0 to -1, -2, and it continued like that. So all of those experiences made us understand that service work is not allowed here. You don't start it on the service and say you are done. You take every constraint, you do the deep work, and that has formed the bedrock for many of our careers now. It's the reason why there's almost no alumni that will build something and will be substandard. That training has been there, it's inbuilt somehow, that we are able to implement that in almost any setting. Almost any setting. I think SQI, this serves a round of applause for that. Thank you very much.
Have we been enjoying this?
Yes, sir.
From what February has been saying, I think he confirmed 2 things from what we mentioned last month about what excellence brings to you. One of it is wealth. I wouldn't say that wealth has really arrived. Okay, so that billing will not be too much. But if someone can still be in school, what level were you when you took up the responsibility?
I was entering 200 level.
If someone can be in school at 200 level and can tell the parent that don't worry again, myself and the siblings, I will take care of everyone. That's something. Don't you agree with me? At 200 level, it took up that responsibility. So how did it happen? I want to believe that it wasn't just because you learned programming. There was a reason SQI brought you into developing such kind of complicated software. I hope you are following. Because SQI won't want to embarrass himself in front of huge organizations. Then you show up, they try something in the software, and it shows error at line. Of course, we don't want that. Which means you going from student to becoming an intern, I think within the space of 1 year. Is it? In about 3 to 6 months, you were studying and you were converted to becoming an intern. And then from an intern, you became a developer in the team, within the team. And then from there, you did not mention this part very well. You said the president were using your software, but you have actually been meeting them. You have actually been having meetings with great presidents of great organizations. And they don't look at him like, look at this guy. He doesn't have big body. Yet they sit with him. And they are confident. These things are not cheap. They are confident that their discussion wouldn't be a waste of time. I hope you understand what this means. At this time, already sitting with people like that to have discussion and ask what do they want and make suggestions, and sometimes they accept the suggestion. And sometimes you crack jokes. They don't mind cracking jokes with him. So that's something we used to discuss, so many times, that all these submitting CV, presentations, they are just to fulfill all righteousness. The real deal, they are confirmed on the dining table. The real deal are confirmed on dining table, where you are just, chatting and eating, say, oh, that contract, okay, can you do it? You are the one then they laugh at it, ha 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 ha. Make sure you deliver, this is what we'll pay you. Then tomorrow you see people submitting proposals. It's already too late. So something that will take you from being among so many people that you depend on CVs and proposals and queuing up and meeting with secretaries and waiting to taking you to the level where it's just a chat over the phone. And you have concluded a multi-million naira dollars of contract, just a chat over the phone. That only thing is a good reputation, which can be achieved by excellence. Your coming to this level is not a fluke. SQI is not a charity organization that will say, oh, let's help someone so that he can come and destroy the whole thing and just punch codes inside software. We also want to make it, as you want to make it. Every organization wants to make it. So you don't go to an organization and say, just help me with this job. It's a quick way to fill an interview. I need it. It has happened before. In 2007, a very big consulting company in Allen Avenue in Lagos. The consulting company is owned by a friend. And I met a very young lady at 17-year-old in that company working. So I asked, how did she get here? So she told me that, after a jam, while waiting, she just felt she should apply for the job, since she has what they're asking for. They were asking for Oracle Database Administration there. So she applied. And there were two of them that they interviewed that day. Herself and a man. Now, the man, when he came, the CEO narrated it to me this way, that he came that day, he was sweating profusely. And when he appeared, he started talking about how he had 3 kids, how it's so hard to meet up, how he needed that job desperately, and he'll be so grateful. We pray for them if they give him that job. Nothing about how great he is at the job. But the girl appeared, and she started talking about how she had handled Oracle Database, the amazing things she had done with it, saying a lot of things. She was just catching fun. She didn't need the job, but she was just catching fun. But she has a lot to say about what she had done in the past with it, which were excellent. So as she was saying it, it was amazing there, and they were like, wow, you said what? So what happened? What did they now do? So because of that, they promoted you, they gave you this task. At that point, he said, we knew that's the person we needed. Companies also wants to make it as you want to make it. So you have to show up, letting them know that I am your helper. I will help you make it because I've done it before.
Thank you so much for that, sir. I think I can relate with something that Mr. Favour mentioned some minutes ago. He said when someone copies a code, the director will always know. I remember he asked me to do something, so I had a lot to do that day at work, so I just went to ChatGPT fast, just copy and paste. The way he saw it, he said, "This is too robotic." Do you understand he's trying to tell me that I know that you copy this somewhere, so you to use your intelligence to tweak it, do you understand? To make it, more captivating to people to read. So I understand, I got the information and then I had to leave whatever I was doing and face that and make sure that I also added my input as well to it. When you are dealing with someone who is intelligent, who is experienced, you cannot do basha job. You will always know, right? And that's because he's an excellent person. And he has imparted that spirit into each and every one of us. So, like I said earlier, the goal of SQI is that we don't want you to live the same way you came. And this is why MindTalk came into existence. So we don't want you to just come here, just do your 2 hours, 4 days a week class, and just go like that. We want you to come here, learn how to be well-behaved, learn how to be experienced, learn how to be excellent at the things that you do, and go out there and make us proud. And I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you very much. Finally, Mr. Favor, what advice do you have for students who are just starting out in tech?
Thank you very much for that. What advice do I have for students who are just starting out in tech? The first thing is to take the learning serious, the skills. Remember that book that I read in January, so good they can't ignore you. So there is that skill part. You can't take it with everything and some persons, they think maybe after just a few trials here and there, the code is not working, you just leave it like that. No, you would do the deep work even in the learning. How better can I put it? Be committed to the learning. Yes, every other thing will be based on that skill that you have. Definitely, you should not pass through SQI and get out from it and still remain at the lower cadre of that field that you are in, the skill. You would have learned to an extent where you can become a professional in that field. So master the skill. And as you have been mentioning, the skill is not enough. You should have this mind that you can't do surface work. It has to be a deep work. So either you are building something by yourself, or you find yourself in some opportunities, maybe taking a job, or you volunteered in some places, or anything at all. Always have it in mind that you can't scratch it on the surface. Put in the deep work. Sometimes it comes with sacrifices, it comes with prices. We had to stay overnight many times in those days. That time SQI was at the general office. Our class was at 9 flat, but immediately we finished our class at 9 flat. General used to have an invite at that time. It's as though everybody has planned the journey. We may take different routes, but you get to general and you start seeing every of your classmates at the general branch. And one day you are not going on. That's how it is. Everybody just want to learn. So if you see the alumni in great places today, it's because of those grit and sacrifice that they put into it. I even hear of someone, because he wants to arrive in class early. Class was at 8 a.m. He comes around many times. You see soap in his hair, soap maybe on his head. He doesn't care about the appearance that time. He just wants to get to class and get this thing done. So many persons come around maybe in recent times. So in some places, you see people coming by 9 a.m. and they are saying, I'm not getting that. No, it's just natural that you have to commit the time to it. So please take the learning so serious. Commit the time to it. There will be odds, there will be challenges. So that I wouldn't like I'm sharing much. Let me just share just one experience. That time my system does not have a battery. It could be called a desktop. It was a laptop, HP, a light book, but it could be called a desktop. No battery. Class is done, lights are off. I go to general branch because I have assignments to do. After leaving at general branch, getting to the house, I know I'm not done with this thing. I leave very late, maybe like 8 p.m. sometimes. I get home and I'm still telling them at home that I need to finish this assignment. I told you how that time was serious. How serious that time was. We didn't have light in our house, and we didn't even have generator. So what do? I visit every houses in my area. Anywhere they put on gen, even if it's just 20 minutes, borrow me something. I could have charged the battery, then go home. But there was no battery to charge. So I had to stay there, do all of the assignment that I can. There's artifact panel. Okay, sure. They put their own off. I carry my PC, check the street again, another place, find the light somewhere, enter the place. So even if it's just 5 minutes, I get something done. And thank God for the kind of family I have, very supportive. They don't argue that you are not doing anything at home. You are just, I had that privilege, and I'm very grateful for that, for the kind of family and the support. But even if you don't have the support, even if you don't have all of the infrastructures, just be determined to make it work. Your commitment is very much important. So please take that learning serious. I decided to emphasize on that learning because if you get the learning right within that learning, your grit, your sacrifice will have built something into you that will create spaces for you even in the coming times. So please take that learning serious. Be committed to it. Thank you very much.
I also have an advice. And it's so simple. SQI is getting popular with our alumni graduating, and between a very short period of time, they get promotions to the highest level in any organization. We notice what is different between them and others. That's exactly why we brought up the MindTalk program. So please, my advice is that we beg you, for us to maintain the kind of impact we are making outside, you can't afford to miss this program. And when we say miss this program, it means it's beyond you just appearing physically. You have to be here, spirit, soul, and body. Take note, ruminate on it, ask questions. Just being good at a skill is not enough. But there are some things that make people just love you. They just want to give you that task. Those are the things you absorb here. You can't teach you graphics here or programming here. So that is why today we are having some of the alumni that are already, shaking places all around the world. I mean, all around the world. We try to sample them from Nigeria, outside Nigeria, and so I think we only have Morocco, all right, this morning, okay. Have some alumni in Dubai, US, UK. The impact they are making there, even though they are blacks, yet they love working with them. So they're also going to be sharing part of the experience, what they have been doing with their ability in excellence, as they will all be joining us. Very good. They are up on the screen. Oh, great. Mr. Dayo, so good to have you with us. Mrs. Christiana, so good to have you with us. Feromi Adeniji, so good to have you with us. Oh, Mr. Salahuddin Teslim, we are happy to have you with us. However, there is still one more person that will be joining us on this table right here today. We are just fortunate to have around. If you remember, during my excellent talk last week, I told you about how I used to use excellence to get extra milk. Do you remember? Yes, I told you about my blood sister, right? Okay. Somehow, I was just able to persuade her to join us in Nigeria for MindTalk this month. Join me as I welcome Nike Okeke. Please, I want you to join us here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, you may have your seat. I'm just going to mention a few things. Please, let's have our seat. A few things about her profile. And then she's going to share some experiences. The reason I'm having her here is that I want you to know that these principles you are learning works everywhere. No matter where you are, whether in Nigeria or in the UK or Canada, it works everywhere. So, Nike Okeke finished her study at Montreal University, Calgary, Canada, in the year 2014. And she became a registered nurse in the same year at Alberta Health Services. In case I am damaging the name, you can help me now. Alberta Health Services. From there, she went to Peter Lloyd, did I try? Peter Lloyd Hospital, Unit 43 and 51 between the year 2014 and 2016 as well. Then from there, from year 2016 till date, she went to Clarice Home Center for Mental Health and Addiction. We might have people that might want to meet with you today. Yeah. And what attracted me to this profile is that in that place, at Clarice Home Center for Mental Health and Addiction, you became a charge nurse there. A charge nurse means a nurse in charge, right? And if you say a nurse in charge, I'm very sure in that kind of place, it's not a nurse in charge of people that look like you when it comes to skin, but people that we look up to as being, are you getting me? The best top of the world. What? I am mighty, very good. So even though your skin is black, if you have what it takes, you can be in charge anywhere you are. I hope you got that. So I want to believe that we'll be learning a few things from your experience there. What is that effect? What are those things that happened that made them to be able to cite you and agree that she can be in charge of us here? That's a big thing. I want you to appreciate that effort. That's a wonderful. So I am going to give it back to Mercy Ajibade. So bring Oludayo Ajala up. I'm happy to see your face again. You just look the same. About how many years ago? 12 or 13 years ago. This is wonderful. All right, Mercy.
All right, let's welcome Mr. Oludayo Ajala. Hello, Mr. Dayo, can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Fine.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I was looking at, so let me just give you a hint about who Mr. Oludayo Ajala is. Mr. Oludayo Ajala started from SQI and is currently the head of information technology at CAP PLC. So I was looking at the trend of jobs, the progression of your career on your LinkedIn profile, and I saw how you worked at GDM Group, and then to iTech Construction Company, and then to NU Retail and Supply, and then to Avon HMO, and then to your current job. And I noticed that in no time, you rose from being a beginner to managerial positions in no time. And I know that these things don't just happen, right? They happen for a reason. They happen as a result of something that you do, as a result of the work that you put into the things that you do. So tell us a bit about your story, how you got into SQI, and how excellence has helped you in your career so far. I mean, how you were able to transition so fast in your career and be where you are at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on this call. Really, I would have loved to be there physically if I have enough notice, because SQI is like my foundation, and anything that has to do with SQI, right? SQI, I graduated from Tech, Electrical Electronics, 2009, and after my service year, I joined one company, GTM, GF Systems and Technology. But I realized that what I was just doing then was setting up what the quality where and doing LAN, cabling, and GPU. I did what's the college in your state? I think they've changed the name recently. There's a college in your state, College of Education. So we're giving me a job there to do an e-library there. So the owner now brought in somebody. So they keep saying, engineer engineer from Lagos, engineer from Lagos. And the guy was just on the switches, just doing all sorts of and stuff like that. And that was like a turning point. I just feel like I have to, do something. I can't be the guy running cables and just configuring OS. So I started some research on where I can do my training. So I came across SQL. One of my friends just mentioned it to me that there's a place SQL. It's even in Ogbomoso, and I'm so Ogbomoso. So I came to Ogbomoso and I joined SQL. And I am very sure I disturbed the director very well. I squeezed in to get every little detail. Because I told him that if I'm leaving the job and I'm a graduate and I'm coming to learn IT, right, I must be the best. I must be the best. I know at that time, we had one guy that two companies were struggling with. The guy was in CH, Certified Technical Hacking. That got me, like, that was the selling point for me. So we were running what they call it, like an exam, around the exam, and 60% off at night. So I did 6 months. I got my CCN. After that, I went back and I said, no, I want to be a CA, certified. I want companies to be looking for me. He said, okay, another step is so when I did my CCNA, I became like the hot cake for GF systems, but I said that wasn't enough. So I went back, I did my programming. So after my programming, right, I got a job while still under that program. The company wanted to use UG framework, so they were looking for developers. So we did first level interview, the second level interview, they invited us to, do something like, they give us an assignment that we should submit in three pieces. And when I look at the assignment is more like just the assignment we've been doing in SQL, and I've been keeping my libraries of all my codes. We've been advised then to say, okay, keep all your assignments. You might need your calculator assignment. I believe everyone in SQL. If you've not gone through calculator assignment, then you are not in SQL. We did a calculator assignment. I think this one was like just pulling data, the data is returning your data, ensure it's dynamic. That was what the interview was all about. Deleting for data time. So I just took on my assignment and I threw it back to them that day. That day, I came to Lagos that day. We were giving the assignment, say, 3 days. Just did it that day. I returned it back. They were shocked. They called me and said, there's no point looking at any other person's the fact that you returned this today, I put in you. However, my father was like, the pay wasn't so great. And at that time, 100K is still a lot. I'm talking about this 2013, because I left SQL 2012. That was 2012. Because I had not finished my SQL programming advanced. I think it's advanced, there's 2 levels in advanced. So I didn't take the job. I went back to GF systems. I was still work there. So after that, I was working there. They were now inviting people again from Lagos. I was the one managing the whole networking infrastructure as at that time. I grew from being just a support thing to a network engineer. Then, I was the one that was now working on majorly networking projects across the board. So I would say, yes, SQL really did great for me. And SQL really pushed me. Really, I wanted to be pushed that time because I wanted to know everything, but I enjoyed my time there. And that has been giving me a very solid foundation. Like I always tell people, foundation is the most critical in IT. Things are changing very fast in IT. So you can't say what you know today is what will be applicable in 10 years. But once the foundation is super strong, believe me, you just be, just just flow with the changes, and you'll be good. So looking at my CV, so you look at my CV, that reminds me of an interview. One HR asked me one question. I said, Mr. Dyer, I can see that you've been changing jobs like very fast. How come? I told she's an HR. I told her, I said, sorry, what's your name? She said, my name is, okay, fine. Can you see that there's a growth in that transformation, in that change of role? Can you see growth? He said, yes, I can see growth. I said, okay, that shows you that I am more than qualified for this job. The most important question you should ask me is, when am I leaving? Because really, I have developed myself to a state whereby I believe there's nothing impossible, right? As far as IT is concerned, there's nothing impossible. So the question is, ask me how many years I want to use it, right? Because I am going to solve your problem in the shortest period.
Wow.
And she was just like, wow. I said, no, I don't have to stay with you for 10 years to, give you value. I'm not telling you to give me 10 years to solve your problem. I'm not telling you I want to stay here for 10 years. I'm telling you, give me max 1-2 years. And I can promise you, and I can even tell you that, okay, fine, don't give me an employment, give me a contract.
Wow.
Right? In 6 months, if I'm able to deliver, then try and recruit me. And emphasis on the try, because that time it will be a try, not that is something now that is now it's something that you don't have to try. So SQI gave me boldness, there's nothing impossible. And I think at this point, I need to emphasize excellence. Excellence is not your skill. Excellence is your attitude, combining your attitude with your skill, right? And that's what SQI is going to do. I can hear somebody. Are you saying something?
I'm telling the student to put that down, to write that down. Do you understand?
Okay. So excellence is not by your skill. Excellence is a summation of your attitude plus your skill. And when I'm saying attitude, is determination. The never same attitude. And I was under a teaching by Mr. Kumapai. I think he's a deputy executive, one of the directors in Access Bank. He said, work-life balance is good, but work-life balance, right, is determined by where you want to reach. Right? If you want it easy, don't look out for excellence. Just be average. Right? But if you want to be an excellent person, right, hard work must be your mentality. Hard work must be in your traits. And that is why the SQI that I know, will not give it to you on a platter of gold. You are going to work to earn it, because at the end of the day, you are going to be like all of the alumni that we have here, right? And at the end of the day, you're able to tell your recruiter that, see, you can't keep me for 10 years. My last employer asked me that, oh, is this Japa syndrome? Well, I told her that, well, it's dependent on how you are able to make mistakes. My stay here is a factor of how you are able to make mistakes, how you're able to convince me. It's a lot of things. I mentioned all of those things. So if I am not going to, add value immediately, we will not be having that conversation. And I can tell you what we've done within the shortest period. I think I joined them, my current company, I joined them a year thereabouts, and I can tell you what we've developed, what we've achieved, automation we've done, paperless automations and the stuff like that to reduce cost, So those are things. And when we're talking about, if you're talking about excellence means planning. It means researching. It means simulating problems. right? You know, the moment you have a problem, you must be able to think about the problem. Even before the problem, you are given the problem. You must be able to think of the problem. So if I get an offer from you, apart from doing my normal research during the interview process, right? Stages, right? Once I get an offer from you, the first thing I do is research your business, right? I've been into health, I've been into oil and gas, I've been into construction, I'm now in FMCG, right? I research your kind of business, and immediately I am putting solutions that will develop for you in notes in the class. I am putting together I'm messaging what your problem could be, and I'm noting it down. So when I resume within the shortest period of time, let me say 3 months, I've solved a lot of problems, and you're like, oh. And I always create problems in companies I join. You'll be shocked, right? So let me explain. I create a standard that is difficult for any other person to meet, and that's a problem. Such that when I leave, right, people will always refer to the name Dayo was here. You must be able to leave a mark.
That's
you
powerful.
Must create as in a big standard, because it is when you create a standard that is difficult for you to get somebody to meet, that your name will last long in that organization, right? I see here of my name, you know, at least 2-3 years after I've left SQI, because like I said, I am still assignment, you know, I disturb.
We still mention your name at SQI. Yeah, we mentioned you were so tough. I think you made inquiries for months before you started.
Exactly. So
because you wanted everything.
Exactly. So I join you and I raise the standard. You know, when I join any company, IT is always like, oh, just take it to them, take system to them, take it. And I always say, see, if you are looking for it, even after you're giving me an offer, right? I will call for a meeting with the MD and I say, see, if you want an IT person that will be repairing system for you, I can get you great guys in Keja that will do that. But if you want brilliant, excellent IT guy that is coming in to solve serious problems, right, which borders around excellence, execution, what's the other one? There's the third one, I forgot the third one. You know, efficiency and effectiveness, right? If you're looking for somebody like that, so I am your guy, right? And if you're looking to save costs, I'm telling you, cost saving is not going to come first, because I'm going to, develop a lot of things. I'm going to, change a lot of things very fast, and all of these things come with money. So excellence is going to, push you to create, what they call it, to create a name, let me call it. You said?
A reputation.
Yes, a reputation for yourself, and it will be hard for somebody to come in and say your name is forgotten in a very long time. That's excellence.
Dayo.
Excellent.
While you were talking, you have been saying so much about problem. It's like you like problem.
So let me say something about that. I see problems as an opportunity to show excellence. Breaking barriers.
I know
You grow when there's problems.
Oh, wow.
You push yourself when there's problem.
That's when you shine.
That is when, if IT, everybody believe when things are going fine, IT is not working. I am not going to touch anything. But things that are problems, that maybe I'm on management, I'm inside management meeting, and you are having a conversation. Let me give you an example. Okay, there was a day we were talking about safety, and they were talking about, oh, let's do this. I just said, okay, fine, guys, can you give me 2 days? We are going to automate that HSC approach, the current approach you're using. And in 2 days, we created a QR code HSC system that when you see issues, you just need to bring out your code, you scan the QR code. You know, we are in FMCG, so safety is key. You scan the QR code, it takes you to the app, you log in what you think. Maybe somebody is trying to do something or that might cause us, you know, what the unsafe conditions of that. You scan it and simple things. But if the problem is not there, so when I see problem and you tell me there's this problem, I'm happy.
I'm happy. Yes. Now, the places where you mentioned problem.
Okay.
Yes, you said when you approach an interview, you tell them something like, I am here to solve your problem. Doesn't that sound great? You are not there looking for help to solve their problem. Who doesn't want his problem to be solved?
No one.
You also say that when you get there again, you will now create a problem.
Yes.
By raising the standard. So everybody knows that someone has joined.
Exactly.
I hope whenever they see SQI students, they will not think the problem has arrived.
They are looking for SQI students. You can recall the number of times I reached out to you to say, oh, I need these guys.
Are you hearing that? A number of times he had reached out and asking for direct one. Not the one you'll be applying, and direct one. Discussion on phone. You remember what I told you? Discussion around the table and asking, I need 2 developers. I need 4
developers. I think last year I called you. I said I have a job. 500, I think 500 600K for a developer. You said that you can't get the right developer for that.
See, 500 600K job for a developer, and sometimes you struggle to find. So many times, you usually have people that can develop. You can develop, to me doesn't mean you are a developer. You called one day and asked for 2 developers, and I was actually teaching a class that day, and there were about 40 students there. At that moment, no, you asked for more, I have forgotten, but I said you can only get 2. And what does that mean? 2 that will not just do the job, but will do it well. So that people like him will keep coming back.
Exactly.
So when you show up sometimes asking for recommendation, recommendation for me, sometimes I ask you a question, are you sure you want me to write what I know about you? The way you delay assignments, the way you always have reasons to come late, are you sure you want me to write your recommendation? And then you understand. You say I will come.
So I think I need to add something there, right? Yeah. When I say I create problem, everywhere I have worked, when I am leaving, criteria for leaving for all of them is that you must give us a replacement.
Powerful. A replacement like yourself.
Yes, exactly like yourself. At some point, some of them will go and look at my CV and look for a replica, somebody that go through them, that his CV looks like mine. You know?
Have you updated your LinkedIn profile?
You said?
Yes, it's working. D, you are very right. It's working. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is already appearing there. That what you are learning at SQI. Exactly. When they invite you, thinking the CV look alike, please let the delivery also. We beg you, so that they keep coming. You see, because of it, they are checking the CV. So when they begin to see that people with this kind of label are always good, I should be sure for you now. To be sure for you, and then you start creating problems too. Thank you, Mr.
Yes. I always tell them that, see, this person coming, you are not going to do any interview, right? Even if you are just going to do any interview, it's just going to be culture fit, right? It's not about professionalism, it's not about skills, right? The person went through the same training I went through, right? The person even went through more recent kind of training than myself. You understand? So most of the time, if I'm referring somebody from SQI, it's always a shorter interview. If the standard interview is like 3 months thereabouts, that would be, let's say, 3 weeks, 1 month max, and that would just be culture fit, talk to MD, just for formality sake.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. This is super. You can clap. Please, please, please. That is wonderful. You are not going to do interview for this one. Just pass them in. That was why what's his name was surprised the day he went for a job first in Nigeria before he traveled out. He said, a job, they just asked, and when I mentioned, they said I should just enter this place. They asked, which language will you use? I told them, I said, start work. I did not understand. And this thing that he shared about they giving tax and say, come back next week with that tax developed. And then the person will say, oh, can I do it right here, right now? And they will just edit assignments, change it, and submit it. It's common with SQI students. So when your instructors are pushing you hard to finish 3 applications over the weekend, and you have to go from one generator to the other to get it done, that strength is like building muscle in a gym. The day you need to carry a problem, you carry it easily. Mr. D, thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you very
don't
much.
go yet.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oludayo Ajala. Okay, so before you go, do you have any advice for SQI students who are out in tech and are present here today or joining us virtually?
Okay, so my advice is it's not going to be easy, right? It is not meant to be easy. It will not be easy until when it should be easy, right? There's going to be a time where what you're saying right now is going to look like a child's play in real life, right? The joy then will just be that as at that time, you'll be doing it with a reward, a reward as at that time will be reliability, trust, top of mind, right? And if all of these things comes, you should know that money follows, right? Like I said, problem is an opportunity. Always see it like that. Anytime you are given an assignment is an opportunity for you. Save all your assignments. They are your gold, right? Save them. And it's in the cloud. Don't be like me before I learned my lesson. When my hard disk crashed and I lost some of my assignments, right? Save all your assignments in the cloud, your database, your everything, right? Tech is changing very fast. So understand the basic right now why you are in SQI. While I was in SQI, PHP 5.0 just came out. I know you know what you're using right now. So things are changing very, very fast. Take the opportunity you have right now as a gold, right? See problem as opportunity. Do it now. Whatever you want to do is just an opportunity. Do it well and do it big. It can't be better than what you're having right now. So one last.
Thank you very much. You said a whole lot. You said a whole lot, actually. You talked about how you always have this mentality of wanting to be the best, and how you always want companies to be looking for you because you are aiming at being the hot cake wherever you get to. And then you said SQI really stretched you and gave you a very solid foundation. You also talked about excellence. Please be noting things down. How excellence is combining skills with attitude and determination, right? You talked about how you see problems as an opportunity to showcase excellence everywhere you get to. And then finally, one of the things I picked from what you talked about a few minutes ago is that value comes before money. Because I honestly think most times when people get into tech, they see it as a get-rich-quick scheme, right? And everything is in their head is, please, I want to make money in 3 months. Okay, so I've been in SQI for some months, and as a tech advisor, I see people come to the front desk and tell me, please, iṣẹ́ tó máa tètè fún mi lówó, cyber security ni mo gbọ́ pé ń jáwó sí, ó ní mo fẹ́ ṣe. And I'll be like, calm down, calm down, calm down. What you love to do, I've just been interviewing them, right? So people have heard a lot about tech and they're like, oh, it's a get rich quick scheme. They don't know that value comes before money. Nobody will give you money if you're not valuable. I mean, as a LinkedIn revamp expert, I was revamping a profile of someone who works at an on-call company. So I told him, I said, one of the ways to increase your connection is by consistently giving value on LinkedIn. People will not follow you if you don't have something to offer. They will not follow you, they will not connect with you, and that's just the truth. They will not even give you jobs. If they go through your profile, then you have nothing to offer. So people want to see value before money. So please, in all that you do know that value, please, if you don't remember anything, remember this. Value comes before money. Value comes before what? Money. Value comes before what? Money. Thank you very much. Mr. Ajala, please, if you can, thank you. If you can, please stay on the call, because as time goes on, I might need to ask you one or two questions. All right, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hello, February Adeniji, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
All right, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine today.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. It's so nice to see you once again. All right, February. You are currently a software developer at MoneyPoint. How many of us knows MoneyPoint? Everybody must even know. No, haven't you know MoneyPoint? You know Opay, you know Bankpay, you must know MoneyPoint. Have you? Yes? Right? So we all know MoneyPoint. So this is February Adeniji. He studied at SQI and is currently a software developer at MoneyPoint. Your progression was from City Tours to Trado to Quicksell, then Capricorn Digital, then to MoneyMe, to Kick Game, to Ajor Card, and finally, MoneyPoint. February is less than 30 years old. And you can see what I will read it again. It started from City Tours to Trado to Quicksell, then to Capricorn Digital to MoneyMe, Kick Game, Ajor Card. I'm not reading just words, so these are companies, these are organizations. And finally, it's currently at MoneyPoint. February, don't let us waste time. February.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So tell us your story, how you got into SQI, and how excellence has helped you in the progression of your career. How you started, the things that stood out for you, the things you would like us to learn, and how excellence has helped you in no time to be where you are today.
All right. I'm glad to be sharing my story here. Good morning, everyone. So I joined SQI. I think that was in 2019. It could potentially be 2018, the last quarter of 2018. I joined SQI after a couple of say back and forth as to, okay, do I really want to, do I have the money, do I have the laptop system and all that. So my exposure to SQI, I mean, I stay in Ogbomoso. So my exposure as of then was just hearing about SQI on Saturday mornings from Dr. Aderito, who talks about different kind of things that you can use computer to do as of that time. And that was the very first time I actually had the thought that, okay, I can actually do something on the computer. Right from secondary school, I'm always a fan of electronics, computing, and all that. So I used to take even breaks in secondary school to go to the computer lab to do corridor and all that. So I had my first encounter with Dr. Aderito in June 2018, and that was where I asked him different questions. I even showed him something I was trying to do on my phone. So the way my story is, it makes it a little interesting. I started learning HTML on my phone, on my own, and on my phone. So when I met the coordinator, I showed him one thing I was building with HTML, and he was amazed that, oh, I did this with HTML. Do I know someone else? Do I know something else? I said no, but I want to come to SQI, and I will do everything it takes. I will talk to my parents and I will ensure that I come to SQI. And that was exactly what I did. And in 2018, I think I got a laptop and I joined SQI. I did I think I did, it was called level at that time. I think I did a level or two. I can't exactly remember. And just even after the first level, I had already started getting freelance jobs. Okay, help us build this thing, help us build this thing, help us design this thing. There was one that really I can remember very well, because that was how I got through to actually getting my first job. So I got the contact of someone, and after that, the person gave me the first website to build. I built it, and the person was amazed that, oh, with this you can do more. And that was the very first client I have. I can say that's the only client I had as of then, because that person kept coming back. I kept working on whatever the person gives me, and the person keeps giving me another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. And the more the person is giving me, that's the more things I'm working on, the more problems I'm solving, the more portfolio, the more website I can talk about if I get on an interview. So I would say first, I would want to know the point there, right? Excellence drives your skills, right? It drives your skill growth. So because I was able to, if the person gives me only one website and I did it on an average, right? If I was to write whatever I've built on somewhere, or on LinkedIn or something, I only put one website there. But because I did it excellently, this person keeps coming back, and I have one, two, three, four, five things I worked with for this person. So and then I would also talk about Money Me, right? That's part of the organizations I've worked with, and that is just right after COVID-19. There was COVID-19 in 2020, right? When everybody got home, a lot of people were not productive. But during that time, I was really, really productive. I come to SQI. Thank God for SQI, right? They opened their gates even during those times. So I come to SQI. I stayed there from morning to night, sometimes till 6 p.m., 7 p.m. It is Favor or someone that is there that would say we are closing now. Everybody needs to be going. We want to turn off the inverter. So yeah, there was that time. I used to spend from morning to night during those times. Okay, I'm building something for someone, or I'm building a personal project, or I'm working on a product. So even the first interview I will have with Money Me, the first interview, yeah, I came to SQI to have the interview because I was scared about network and also video calls and all that. So yeah, SQI really paved a way for me in that regard. And so after the whole COVID-19, so I didn't apply for Money Me. So I wanted to talk about Money Me. So there was just this one day someone messaged me on Telegram. They said they had seen my works and they have seen the things I worked on. The things they are referring to are the things that I talked about the other time that I worked with one client, right? There are just several, like 5, 6 links of active websites, things that are working that I worked on. So they reached out and they were like, yeah, we have seen it. We want you to come and work with us as a front end developer. I was really amazed, like, oh, this is not a Nigerian company and they want me to come and work with them. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was about to ask them, when is the interview? When is the preliminary interview? When is the test? When is the guy just told me that the role is X amount. The starting date is February 1. Was it February 1 or January 1? I can't remember exactly. I think that was 2020 or 2021, right? So the starting date was February 1 or something, and we want you to come and start. We'll set you up, we'll send you the meeting link and all that. I was shocked, and if you yeah, it was a very short time, like a very short time to process the whole information and also get started. So I I was so happy. I even told Dr. Adenito about it. And on February 1, I actually started in a foreign company. And I would say the first thing is what got me there was the excellence that I've put into the other things that I was doing. And I would always talk about consistency in what we're doing, right? And then the third thing is that I was really into solving problems. And I think a couple of people can really testify to this. So if I was to sit down here and I'm having a difficulty using something or accessing something, the first thing I'm going to do is to try to think about what solutions, what exactly solves this problem. Is this something I can solve? I don't want to go about spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes doing the same thing every day without being able to provide a solution. So every day of my life during those times, I build the things that help me do more things in a different way, in a faster way, and that consistently helped me. So during that time, I could point to a lot of side projects. Oh, this one, I worked on it. It's working. It does this, this and that. And then this one, I worked on it. It does this and that. And it was just something that really employers look for. Okay, Are you a problem solver? Can you lead yourself to actually follow something from the beginning to the end? That's also something that needs to be noted down. Can you follow something from the beginning to the end without anyone leading you, without anyone telling you have to finish it, you have to start it, you don't have to leave it uncompleted? So there is that part. And then after joining Money Me, I was using React and all that. And at the time, I can only write PHP for backend. So I was this ever growing and curious person. So at the place we're using Node.js and Java or something for the backend. But so the very first thing I think is the first few months I have to ensure that I do the most excellent thing, right? That's where I am. And then I have to pick up new things to ensure that I can stay here and I can grow more. I ask questions that, okay, why are you there? What do you do there? What does QA? We had a QA engineer. Like, what does you doing QA? What does it mean? What language do you use at the back end and all that? And in few months, I was almost already writing Java, writing Node.js that they are using at the back end. So it made me an indispensable asset. So if there were to be any time that the company was going to do something like a cutoff or something like that, I've forgotten how, yeah, a layoff, right? Yeah. So I'm indispensable because I can do a lot of things that a lot of people are doing, right? At the same time. So and then that was that. A few months later, I got multiple offers, and I even had an offer that I didn't even take. Like during that time that I was working at Money Me, I had an offer from a fintech. I've forgotten the name now. I've forgotten the name. So that particular offer that they gave me was way more than what I had at Money Me, right? But I didn't actually take it at the time. I was so concerned about my growth at Money Me, yeah, and I was so curious that, okay, you know what, I have to pull this train all through. We have to um, push this product to production. So I would say that being consistent about your growth is really an important.
Are you receiving audio from here?
Being excellent.
Are you receiving audio?
Okay.
Hello.
I think it was just the network. We lost your audio at some point. But can you hear clearly now? Can you hear from us clearly now?
Oh, yes, I can.
Great. Now, I want to quickly pick some beautiful things from what you've shared with us so far. And I want everyone to follow, please. He said, just for the first level of study, first level,
all right,
he began to get freelance jobs. First level. So which means we usually have 6 levels of study. So which means if you do even just the first level well enough, it's enough to open doors. Now from there, he said the person he worked for kept on coming back. Please underline that. People don't go back to mediocrity. They don't go back to failure. They don't go back to excuses.
If they kept coming back, it means he is doing it well. And I remember that you shared this story with me before, that even what you were being paid for the job that time doesn't really make sense at all.
Yeah, it was just a mega amount, like 10K or thereabout.
But you were doing it well. Are you saying that? Now, he did jobs of mega amounts well, so much more that when he appears at interview, he now has so many jobs to tell them he has done, that he did well, even though it's mega amount. But now, this is now opening doors to, you don't want us to mention some things here this morning.
Yes, the person was really happy about it.
Now, you have said something to me before about one of the organizations that you joined, that during the interview, they didn't believe you could do all that you said you could do. Mr. Dayo,
yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
Can you quickly share that? Yes. Can you quickly share that part?
Oh, all right. Yeah. So it was an interview I had when I wanted to join Ajokad. That was 2+ years ago. So they kind of sat me down. Yeah, let me give you background. Like I said, when I was at Money Me, I kind of ventured into a lot of other things, leaving behind whatever constraints front end has given me. So when I was joining Ajokad and they were asking me, okay, what are the things you've built before? I was talking about cloud, I was talking about AWS, I was talking about EC2, I was talking about running an instance, I was talking about um building things on the back end. I was talking about scalability. I was talking about architecture, and they're just like, okay, wait. Are you just saying? Are you reading it from a playbook? Are we really interviewing you for a front end role? Like this is really impressive.
Hello, Fermi. Please, can you pause your video to help the network? Thank you. Now, I want you to take that again. You were talking about what and what?
Yes, so while they were having the interview, I was talking about different kind of things. I was talking about cloud deployment. I was talking about AWS. I was talking about Lambda. I was talking about EC2. I was talking about different kind of things relating to architecture. I was talking about different kind of things relating to how to manage and build softwares to and scale it to thousands of people, right? And they were like, okay, what is happening? So as of time, I was interviewing for a front end role, and they're like, okay, let's ask him a front end question. And I'm still able to even answer that. They asked me something related to back end, I could answer that. They asked me something related to deployment, I could answer that. And they're just like, okay, if you really can do everything you are talking about, we want you on this team right now. They didn't believe it, right? They were like, are you serious about all of these things you're talking about? Or you're just there was this word I can't remember exactly, something like saying that you're just cajoling us to get the job. So it was something around the line. Yes, I got the job and I took that offer. And when I joined that team, it was the same thing. I did exactly what I said I was going to do and even more. And yes, I was
Wow.
also employed there as a front end engineer, right? Like I mentioned. But at the same time, I went on to do different things.
That's
From
much. Can you please give a round of applause? That is power.
when I was living at Jokad, I actually wasn't living as a front end engineer, even though my role was still front end engineer. I left there as a back end engineer. I was building things for the back end, and there was just this time that Nigeria has this cash crunch issue. That was last year. That was before election, December 20. This is 2024. That was December 2022 when there was this cash issue. Then there was a cash scarcity issue, and there was a lot of companies want people to onboard and they want people to quickly make transfer during the time. And I went on to building a USSD service, right? That helps people create accounts and all that on Agile Card, and that was really a very impressive thing to do there. And I would say that gives me an heads up or I called it catapult, right? To getting a new role at Money Point. I was so involved in building things that helped financial inclusion. Okay, we want more people to come and use fintech. We want more people to, even if they are remote, even if they are in Igbo or whatnot, we want them to come and use internet. So I went on from living being just an engineer to becoming a product engineer. Right, I'm just not motivated by the fact that, oh, there's code to write, but there is problem to solve. There's problem the code I can write can solve, right? That really helped me in getting more roles, in really growing in my career. So even when I was being interviewed to join MoneyPoint, I wasn't just talking about React or DSX or HTML5 or and all that. I was talking about the things that we built, the products that is being used everywhere, that is being used in Lagos, that is being used everywhere across Nigeria, that have contributed to and that I have led their development. So I would say that as engineers, as people that are coming up, you need to leave the level of, okay, it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that can build this thing. You need to go to, okay, what can I do with this thing? What do people do with this thing? How can I solve this problem? Do I need to write code to solve this problem? What code do I need to write? How do I solve this problem better? And that's part of the things I learned as SQI. You just don't build things, you build things that solve problems. Yeah. And uh, that has
Put
been
your
my
hands
man.
together once again for Feromi. Thank you so much, Feromi. So powerful. This is so powerful. He said being indispensable. So much for that. When they are laying off everyone, they can't consider laying you off. That's huge. I understand that you work from home. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in my house.
And in case our Money Point transfer is failing, hope we can call you. We will share your number.
I'm not sure about that.
So, Feromi, you also said something powerful. You said there were so many offers you did not take. So many offers you did not take. That's big. And they are not small offers, right?
No, they are not.
Okay.
And,
there are people here that will not mind to manage those offers. Feromi.
Okay.
So when you are not taking them, please forward them. Thank you so much.
I do that.
Yes.
I will do so much of that. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Feromi. Let's give him a round of applause. Feromi, if you can, please stay on the call. We might have one or two questions for you later. I'm supposed to bring Mrs. Oyewale up now, but Mr. TZ asked that we do that now. Please, Mrs. Oyewale, please give us a few minutes so that Mr. TZ can come up and can have a few minutes conversation with him. Hello, Mr. Salahuddin. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
How are you doing today, sir?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Very clearly, sir. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
Very fine, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, we won't take too much of your time. In a few minutes, just share with us your story, how you started in SQI, with the information I have here about you. Mr. Teslim Salahuddin is also an alumni of SQI and is currently a backend developer at Swissplat Ltd, Switzerland, a software engineer at Better Life Digital Services, and is currently the lead instructor for all SQI campuses in Ibadan. I think that deserves a round of applause. So, Mr. Salahuddin, tell us a bit about your story, how you got into SQI, the progression of your career, what helped you, what stood out for you, and how excellence has helped you in your career.
Okay, thank you, Miss Messi Ajibade. Actually, I got into SQI after I've already graduated as a medical physiologist in LAUTECH. So how did it happen? Then I was supposed to be class 14, like we're meant to graduate in the year 2014, but due to LATEX strike and the likes, it was postponed to year 2015. So then my colleague were going for service in November or thereabouts. But then I got to know I had an extra semester, like I failed a particular course in BCH 201. Okay, so I had to stay back. You understand? I had to stay back to rewrite the course around February or so, February 2016. So after doing the course, I was able to make it, but unfortunately, LAUTECH began to, you know, do another strike like that. It was a very long strike that I began to query myself. Ah, God, what will I do to make it in this life like this? I was not able to go for NYC. Now there's so I was so worried. Then while I was discussing my predicament with people around me in Ogbomoso, so a lady, then she was a LATEX student, Oluwaseun, she's now in the UK. Probably she'll come across this video one day. So she now said, I was telling her, I want to learn something. Then I was good at using computer, just to operate computer and do few stuff, yeah, in graphics. So I now told the lady, like, does she know anywhere I can learn web design? It was even web design, then I did not even know anything about programming or whatever. Everything we knew there was okay, web design. So she now recommended SQI to me. That was in 2015. So I went there for inquiry. Fortunately, I was told that a scholarship was going on. A scholarship was so I wrote the test. I got 40% or thereabouts. So I was told I was meant to make a particular payment, blah blah blah. It was not that easy. I couldn't even get the money. But with the glory of God, I don't know how God did it then, Sharps, but the person at the front desk, Mr. Sunday, allowed me to pay per payment somehow then. So after making the payment, I started and I was so serious about it. Like then it was as if I have already seen the vision. Honestly, I took it so serious. I was doing it passionately with all the energies I have left in me then. So sometimes I'll trek right from Ondaji, for people who know Ondaji very well, behind Amazing, Pastor Bode to be precise, behind Amazing. I'll trek from there to General just to have my class. Then I'll trek back again so that I can have the little change I had with me there, and it was just to eat, even if it is once a day. Then I did not mind. So I continued like that. I continued like that. Now we're able to, we finished our first level, then we moved into JavaScript. So after my first month in JavaScript, that makes it was not then our curriculum was not like this then. I shall know it was during my third month after I've already done some stuff in JavaScript. I I came across a particular group on Facebook. So I joined the group. It was a programming group. I did not know like who created the group or something, but I joined the group. So I used to help people, debug their code virtually. Then they will post their problems. Then I'll be under the comments doing, virtual debugging. And this thing it was like a fun to me, but I never knew like this thing like unknown to me. I was selling myself. It was a means to market myself virtually, but I was not even aware of it. I was just doing it unconsciously. So one day, one Indian lady, this story that I'm about to say, Dr. Adeyemi Aderinto is like fully aware of it because I showed him that day. So the lady she was given a problem. She was given an assignment by a professor in her school. She's an Indian. Then she posted in the group. Nobody could do that assignment for her. So I chatted her up saying, I could do this assignment now. She said, are you serious? I said, yes. How many days? I said, I'll finish it in 2 hours. She said, never. Probably you are a scam, blah, blah, blah. I told her, okay, don't worry. You are not going to give me the money. Let me finish the work for you. Our agreement was on $100 then. I don't know if Dr. Adeyemi can still remember this story very well. So I went on in less than 2 hours. I promised her 2 hours. I was able to finish it in less than 2 hours, was maybe like 1 hour or thereabout. This lady was just running up and down online, unbelievably, that something people could not do here. The funniest part is I was able to do this thing, then jQuery was still very hot. jQuery was still very hot, so I used jQuery to solve this problem. Then this lady was very happy. She paid me $100. $100 in 2017 or 2016. I can't really remember. $100. Oh boy, I was just seeing myself as like one Dangote in under Geo. So everything began to change about me. My perspective towards programming changed. The energy was boosted. Bam! So I began to see everything like, omo, this thing, I must learn it, I must finish it. So from that day, the lady recommended me to another Indian again. And this guy gave me another work, and I was able to finish it as promised, and he paid me too. So now I am going to SQI like a boss, taking bike, only me on the bike from under G. I hit whatever I like and still have my little change there. No, so then I did not have anybody to give money, so I was just enjoying myself, writing my code and the likes, you understand.
Mr. TZ, we are losing audio from
So
you.
later, uh, I I was me. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now. We just looked for some few seconds there.
Okay. Well, can you hear me clearly now, sir?
Yes, clearly now.
Okay. So like towards 2017, late 2017, I was later mobilized kind of in Lautech, but I told myself, no, 2016, so sometime thereabout, sha, I was mobilized, but I told myself I am not going for NYC yet to until I can call myself a full stack developer. So my colleague were going for NYC. I intentionally didn't go because I wanted to do backend then. It was very tough, to be sincere with you. It was very tough, but I enjoyed the journey. It was very tough. So I waited till I become a backend developer. So after then, it was in 2018. I was now mobilized, remobilized again. Then I went for service. To be sincere with you, I was picked in the camp in Kaduna. Like the company I worked with, they come to pick us. They come to pick me personally, like with a calf. Who fitted with AC.
This one is different. From leg wagon.
They requested for me right from when I was in the camp, because then during our Said time, they came around with the aim of teaching people digital skills and the likes. So at the end of everything, they were asking if they could get people who already know few things about programming, blah blah blah. So a lot of people came out. You understand? But none of them was competent enough to solve the problem given to them. I was the only one that escaped through. In fact, don't let me talk much about that, Sha. I don't want it to be as if I'm overhyping, but at the end of everything, they requested for me while they were busy deploying people to bushes in Kaduna. They came to pick me right from the camp.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Do you want to appreciate this great work? People making an SQI proud. Now, I am just going to ask you one thing so that we go to the last part of the program. There was a time you shared an experience with me about the company you are working with in Switzerland, that you have to tell the company that it can't be attending meetings all the time. And they have no choice than to just agree with you.
Yes, sir.
How dare you say that?
Yeah, the way I even got the job self, it's another thing entirely. it was one of the things, that really gave me guts to utter such statement that day, because I did not apply for the job, to be sincere with you. It was through
Hmm.
recommendation. I did not apply for the job. So they already knew like I am capable. They know what I can
Wow.
do, they know what I can offer, they know what I have in me. So when they were busy, they were just busy calling different meetings up and down. And to be sincere with you, I don't like anything like that. That is the more reason why I have never in my entire life been under any company to work from morning to night. No, I've been working remotely and I've been doing fine in life. And I feel this is how I will continue. If at all I'm going to work under any company, that means I am not in Nigeria anymore. So
So you
this company, okay, sir.
please continue. Continue.
Okay, so this company, when they when they approach me on that level, then I let them know I don't like this too much meeting of a team. We should probably choose one day in a week, I be twice a month or whatever. It like
Èwo ni
then
ojoojúmọ́?
they were like it's like this one, but they did not have choice than to agree with me. That's just the truth.
They did not have choice than to
Yeah, they
agree.
did not have choice. Yeah, everything.
You have to be very good for an organization, not a small one, to not have choice than to agree with you. Oh, this is just powerful. The hard work in excellence eventually pays. Sister Mercy. Right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tizi. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Tizi, we've been together for a few months, and I can boldly say that you are everything you say you are, and more.
So you're
Yes.
not hyping.
He's not hyping. He's not hyping. I don't know if anyone noticed one thing in what Mr. Favor has said, in what February has said, in what Mr. Jala has said, and in what Mr. Tizi has said. Just one thing. Just one thing. What did you notice? God bless you. Solving problems. All of them have been saying the same thing. Solving problems. That attitude to solve problems, not just to get money. I mean, people say we are in our time. That's not my reality, right? We're all reading to flourish in our times, like the tagline of my church. But instead of always trying to look for money, always trying to think of where bet Naija, just that one, that two, Ajagbera, something. How you guys say it, right? How about thinking about what can I do? Okay, thank God. I remember I was going through the status of the director a few days ago. And said truly, people are saying times are hard, things are hard. But have you ever asked yourself, in this place where I am, what problems can I solve? How can I? See, until we die, there will always be a problem to solve. But most of us, we never really sat down and think, what can I really offer my generation? What are the values that I can actually offer people? Do you understand? And like someone said, value comes before money. If you're not valuable, money will not come, except you want to do GPT. Even if you do that GPT, it won't last. The only money where you have that confidence, that audacity, is legal money. All these people, if they are going on road now and the police stop them, they have nothing to fear about. Because it's sure for them. Let them take their laptop, check everything. It's sure for them. Not be a Yahoo boy. Oh, go back to Magnum. No, you can't even stand that. So let's appreciate all of them once again. Solving problems. Mr. Tizi, please, if you can, stay on the call. We'll get back to you very soon. Good afternoon, Mrs. Oyewale.
Hi, Madam Messi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today, ma?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thank you so much for your patience.
Okay.
That stood out for me. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. Let me tell you a bit about Mrs. Oyewale. Ms. Oyewale is currently a UM6P Nigerian ambassador, SCI ambassador, and delegate for academic affairs for the international students at UM6P. And she is currently a master's student at the School of Collective Intelligence, SCI, in Morocco. So she's joining us live from Morocco. She was once a student of SQI, just like. All right, Mrs. Oyewale. Share a bit of your story with us. How you got into SQI, the progression of your career, how excellence has helped you in your career, and the things that stood out for you while you were here at SQI.
Thank you so much, Madam Messi. And hello, everyone. Thank you for staying till this time and having me on this call. I want to say a big thank you to SQI for this opportunity. And thank you for changing ladies first. Now it's now lady last. It's still, it's still okay. So, like I was rightly introduced, my name is Christiana Tilokwe. Currently a master's student from the School of Collective Intelligence at Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, Rabat campus in Morocco. But I'm joining you from the Bengari campus, which is the main campus in Morocco. So, like she has mentioned, I hold a lot of positions in Morocco here, and I joined HSQ after my high school. We call it secondary school in Nigeria. So there, when I was finishing my secondary school, even before then, anytime teachers ask, and what do you want to become in the future? A lot of people will say, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a nurse. There, I never knew what I would become. I was just following friends. So one of my friends now mentioned SQI scholarship to me, and then I was like, okay, let me just give it a try. That time was a period I was preparing to also write JAM. So I never knew what I was going to feel in JAM at all. Um, After writing SQI, I also had close to 50%, in which that amount was removed from my tuition fee. So seeing that I joined SQI made me to select computer science during my JAM. So, and I used to have phobia for computer because I felt maybe something that is too big for me to know and thereabout. So I asked my father to give me the 6,000 I'm supposed to pay. My father said, I know you that you are a potential saver. Any money to you, you're always keeping it. You have money with you. Go and pay it. I'm going to give you back. Up to now, my father has not given me that money back. But I always tie this to my story because a lot of students, they are unable to further in life, not only students, because they felt that the responsibility of the parents or their country or whoever to do things for them, and they they are unable to do it because they are waiting. But um, I'm a kind of person that I love to take care of my dealings myself without having to trouble anyone. So coming to classes from Rwanda, Gomasho, where we are staying, it was a bit taxing for me that I had to work and maybe take taxi a bit to get to the previous place where SQI was. So the just like the first speaker, I shared similar stories with him because SQI was my own foundation too, and always coming to classes. Then I was able to get flexible with using computer, typing on Microsoft Word, dining, and co. So I now that period I left for Benue State, Makodi, after gaining admission into the military school that is there. A lot of people thought maybe I've joined army, maybe I was in ND or thereabouts. I was schooling then. So Anytime I write exam or answer question in class, my lecturers were always commending my script. And most of the time they use my script to mark others. Because at times they in meeting they will be telling them their questions are too difficult. That's a lot of students feel. So all my lecturer, even up to master's level, they take my script to prove that, oh, if at least one person that is in the same class with them can answer this question, it shows that we never set anything that is above what is their level. So some of them take time to ask me, okay, you what is the reason for your academic success?
Okay.
And I always mention SQL because I have seen, at least I have one of my ND scripts that one of my lecturers commended as in what I wrote. It was about Excel. That was during my Hindi one. And she was like, she was so happy that, because the answers I gave in those questions were what I was taught in SQL. Hardly we institution will give you a practical skill that you really need. And you agree with me because I view much about psychology now that practical stays on the head than just theory. So the practical experience helped me, and that set a standard for me that always prepare ahead of every semester. So every holiday, I tried as much as possible. Anytime I'm in Ogbomoso, I must get to SQI. I must get to SQI. I must learn something from SQI before going back to school. So I kept on in that pace, and finishing as the entire best graduating student during my set, my end was very encouraging, and made me to also go into learning coding. So I joined an organization called Planet Technology in Makodi. And I went there as a student to learn web development. So that's PHP option, and probably we're taught Java. But seeing that I built my confidence from SQI, because when you are in SQI, you have opportunity to interact. And just one day, one of the SQI staff, Sister Ume, she mentioned that I know you tell Okwiyemi everything. I called Director Okwiyemi because I feel some kind of personal connection aside being the CEO of SQI. So that because I used to be an introvert, I didn't know how to really communicate with people. But being in SQI opened my voice. So that gave me boldness in one of the database classes, and I was teaching myself. The management of that company, when they were passing, they were like, this young girl with this boldness teaching. That was when they called me. I was still less than 2 weeks in that school. They called me, oh, come and join us as a student developer. That is how I learned coding on life systems. And I proceeded to having bachelor degree in mathematics and computer science as Federal University of Agriculture, Makodi. That practical experience also made me to graduate as the only first class student in the entire department in the school. I could record a lot of time that my professors, they will sit down and say, oh, Christiana, take the mic and teach the class, write the code. You know that you can do this, you can do that. And so I've been working as like a graduate assistant right from my bachelor degree. So after finishing my bachelor degree, I'm a lover of education. So um, you will see me in in industry, but you might not see me fully there than seeing me in education. So after my bachelor degree, I joined the Nigeria, one of the hospital belonging to Nigeria, and the one particularly in Ibadan. There, I was just to serve, and being a psychologist, I take my time to understand people, and I focus more on startup and advocating against some practices in high city. So there, they believe that everything the computer scientists know is about typing in Microsoft Word. So that first year, I was just like how the previous speakers mentioned that you create problem, you don't wait for problem. I was just watching their activities and seeing how they just reduced me to just type in Microsoft Word and document and code. So I after I finished my NYC there, and I walk up to the management. I was like, "You have a problem, and this problem you only need and to handle." They were like, "Oh, they don't understand what you're trying to say." So most of the time, I have to organize training on out proving to them, and who have invited the director before he was in the it came to also uh, teach them, and the like. Though it can be somehow challenging, especially to convince the military. It's not something that we can give up on. So I had to use agile method to develop two software for them that was quite urgent. One for screening applicants that are joining the Nigerian Army. That is when their documents are being screened. They will go for medical screening, and after medical screening, before proceeding to the physical training and co. That made them to promote me to the management level. That's I was the HOD of the ICT department, and out in the management, I was the youngest,
Wow.
and I can say I'm the toughest there in that this thing, because you can't throw anything at me.
Yeah.
They always say that when you find a trouble, she will use English and tech to finish you. So don't try her.
Wow.
So every time when they ask what is this, what is your, tell us your story, so I always tie it to okay, I think I missed out something. When Sister Mercy asked me the time I graduated from SQI, that period, so before I came up with that software, I just got to Ibadan that period, and I went straight to SQI and I enrolled for the first level. I think one of the instructor were like, "Oh no, you have previous experience. Why you want to start again?" I said, "No, there are new things in book now. I believe that I should restart all over again." So that's how I started. And Mr. Tizi was one of my instructors, Mr. Timmy and co. So especially those things that I've already developed uh, the first part of the software. So after attending Mr. Tizi class, Mr. Timmy class, and co, I had to do the entire interface because they were just nothing to write home about. So which made life quite easier for the users that were using it for the medical screening and co. Then I enrolled for a master's degree at University of Ibadan. So getting to there, I met some courses new, that is machine learning, artificial intelligence, and co. So since I recognize the importance of practical to academics. That made me to still go back to SQI to enroll for machine learning courses, which it was done remotely, having Mr. Yemi from Ogbomoso taking us classes.
Can we appreciate Mr. Yemi?
Thank you. So that period too, I noticed a lot of our subject depends on machine learning, and in class you can never see me quiet. Anytime you see me quiet, maybe something is wrong with me. So even up till now, all our professors, they know that when you mention machine learning, be ready to answer a lot of questions from me. So all my classmates, most of them, they will get confused when they are being taught or some concepts in machine learning, because hardly will you see us go on our system to do anything practical. But most of my professors, they will just ask me, Christiana, are you understanding? What do you expect? Yes, I'm understanding, sir. So they will move on, leaving the rest. And I became a mentor to a lot of my classmates that had to teach them. Oh, some of them had to give them SQI link and how they can join SQI and also learn from SQI so that they can take practical to academics. So after that, I was able to work on my project, applying deep learning to suicide detection, and which really gave me a lot of international recognition, because I presented in conferences, in workshops, and so for my current affiliation, I've also worked in some other organizations in Canada, in Italy, and co. So, but for my current affiliation now, that as a master student at the School of Collective Intelligence, so we are diverse in nature. It's not just for those in science, or it's open to everybody. But most of the things that we still do are still related to artificial intelligence, and I can say some of our professors are not into machine learning. So when they need an expert view, they can easily call on me. And
I think we need to celebrate Mrs. Christiana for that. We're celebrating you for that. Yeah, all right.
Thank you so much.
So, I mean, your story has really been an inspiring one, from how you came in 2011 and then came back in 2022. So, brush up your knowledge and know some other stuff. In very few sentences, do you remember some few things that SQI taught you when you were here in 2011 and 2022 that made you stand out at this stage of your life?
Okay, I can say aside technology, interpersonal skill is another thing I got from SQI. You understand? I know that a lot of you will agree with me if you have interacted with the director, Dr. Yemi. Because it's a thing to be a boss. It's another thing to be a good boss. You understand? So kindness is one of the things that I learned from him. It was in 2011. It was from far, because I saw the interaction between him and Mayowa. So I saw becoming quite close to him. So aside technology, that is one of the skills that I have that I'm well known for, and really, really make ways for me.
That's amazing. Let's celebrate Mr. Soiwale once again. Mr. Soiwale, thank you so much for joining us today. We've learned a lot about how you rose from being a beginner to be like an authority figure in where you are at this point. Thank you so much for joining us. If you can, kindly stay on the call. We will be moving to Mrs. Nike Okeke now, and I'd like to give the director the microphone.
So as we close the program, we might not have much chance to receive feedback, but you might just want to take note of some things in case we take one or two from you. So we are going to round up with this as Mrs. Nike Okeke will just share a brief story with us, something we can learn from that will make us know that whether you are here or there, wherever you are, the principles are the same. Thank you.
Let's welcome.
Thank you. I've lost my voice, but I'll use the little one that I have left. I was a back away. Anything she and Lillian and be that chatty. So, talking about excellence, we have to know that whatever we do, we should make sure there is excellence in it. For example, if you are cleaning these glasses, make sure you clean it well. That people will be like, oh, who cleaned this? I finished from Roundtech in 2004. Now you let me lost my train of thought. So, after I finished from Roundtech in 2004, I went to Canada in 2008. The mentality that I went to Canada with was the same mentality that I went to school with. When you want to do exam, study the night before, you're good. And you pass. Even lecturers might not come to class. You will go and buy the, what do we call it? No, thank you. Yeah, you will go through everything and study and pass. When I got there, I noticed that it was different. My first year of nursing at the university was a mess. I failed almost all my courses. I was pregnant and being married and everything, and I was going to school and I thought I could do it, but it wasn't easy. After that, I noticed that I had to put in more effort. So I had to sit tight and study hard. And when I say hard, it's hard. It's not as
You walk in the park.
yeah, thank you. It's not like that. It's very difficult. So, but my hard work started showing up. And when you put in hard work and it's showing up, it's sort of an encouragement. You keep on putting in more hard work. Fast forward to 2014, when I finished nursing school at the Montreal University. Our final year, you will go to a hospital, and 4 of us were sent to a medical surgical unit. I was the only black out of the 4 of us, so I knew I had to bring my A game. So what I would do after each shift before I went home is I would call my clinical instructor and I would ask, what did I do today? What do I need to improve on? And she would tell me, you need to do this, you need to do this, you did this really well. We had 3 months in that hospital. I did not want to work in that apartment. That was not my interest. My interest from the beginning was psychiatry. But this was medical and surgical unit, so I was just giving my all to finish and get out of it. So we had 3 months. By the end of the first month, this instructor was very confident in me that she had 4 patients and she would say, you take 2, I take 2. That was when I knew I was doing something right. Don't forget, I had 3 other people that we came from the same school. The only thing is, they were white, I was black. And so I'll just do my thing and go home. At the end of the clinical, I was hearing, there's shortage of nurses, we need nurses everywhere. And on this unit, I knew they need nurses. So I talked to let me backtrack. I had seen a position that they posted online about looking for nurses on that same unit that I was working at. So I went to the manager and I called her name and I said, I would like to work here for a little bit. And she said, oh, okay, just submit your resume online. I went and submitted my resume, waiting for an interview. The next thing I heard was, you've been given this position and you can start on so dates. And I'm like, so what's the point of posting the position online if you just without interview? They did not interview me. That's why I said, whatever we do, we should put excellence in it. If excellence is part of us, we will not even have to try. We will not even have to try. It will just be like, who did this now? Yes, it will be your lifestyle. Thank you, Mercy. It will be your lifestyle. And when it's your lifestyle, you're not struggling anymore. It's not stressful to you anymore. It's just something that you do. And when you're known for this, wherever you go, good things will follow you. Like I said, this wasn't the place that I wanted to work, but I needed a job after school. And you guys all need to know that I was still in my final year when I started this job, so I started as an undergrad nurse. I started, when you are doing what I'll call an internship, you're not supposed to get paid, right? So before my internship, I know I already got a job after. So after the internship, I started working immediately after, without interview. Take note of that. Without interview. And I asked Shauna, my manager, I said, why I didn't have to do any interview and just get this job? And he said, it's because I heard from Farida. Farida was my instructor.
He heard from another person about you.
So she had went ahead and told her about how good I was. I was putting in my best because I had no choice. Because I knew I had to do this in order to succeed, in order to excel. I needed to see something else in me. And that pays off. And after that, I left the unit and I went to another department where another town entirely. And what I will tell you is I did not have any challenges in finding reference. Yeah, I had people that say, oh, I'll be a reference for you, even before I asked them. So I don't have any background in tech.
But the same principle that works in tech works in nursing.
Yeah, it's the same principle. And the same principle that works in tech, works in nursing, works at home too. That's when I started, that's why I started with whatever you do it well. If you're cleaning glasses, if you're cleaning shoes, your shoes to come here, make sure you clean those shoes well. Put excellence in whatever you do. Thank you.
So, excellence ní jọ.
Excellence ní jọ.
It makes life easy for you. It brings you to the dining table. You finish the contracts on the dining table. No interview. No interview. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I wish we should go further. So you shared that with me personally before about how you became the charge nurse. That was an amazing story as well. But Sister Mercy wouldn't permit that. So I want her to continue and maybe give others an opportunity just to have questions so that we close the program.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Okeke, for that. It was short, but you really drove the point home. Thank you so much for that. All right. I don't know if anyone has questions from the audience. Please just raise your hand up, and then you can come to the front to ask your questions. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You can do this. Do you have a question, or do we have questions online? Do we have questions online? The people monitoring our online attendees, please help us check if we have questions online. From YouTube, from our other campuses. Okay, there is someone. All right, please come to the front. Please, let's welcome him. Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Tunika. Thank you for this mind talk. It has been me valuable, full of values. Mr. Adiri today talk about said something. He said being black, and if you have a solution, you can work anyway. You can give value to the white anyway. So, but nowadays is this Japa syndrome. So I want to have a good understanding. Should we, like as tech individuals, should we have should we exhibit the mind to kind of travel out for work or maybe kind of like we be black yet like want to make want to give values also globally, not only locally. So that what's the mindset towards that?
Full camera.
I would have loved the alumni to respond to this, especially people like Ferromi, Adeniji, TZ, that are working with international companies. And Ferromi is in Ogomosho, work remotely. I think he told me one time that he always tells every organization that I can only work remotely. When you take US payments and you spend Ogomosho, you know what that means now. that is the difference is huge. There might be some wisdom there. So that syndrome of Japa, if any of you want to say something from the alumni, you can just signify. The syndrome of Japa, Mrs. Oyewale. Okay. Mrs. Oyewale, you have already Japa. All right, please come up. Can you give her a volume, please?
Much, sir. I was actually trying to be brief with my talk that time, so I left a lot of details out. The period I was doing my first master's in UI, I was working remotely with the ITD Canada, which is a college in BC, Canada. So we agreed on a particular amount in Naira because they were trying to have an affiliation in Ibadan that period. So they have idea of how much should be paid. But eventually they did the conversion in Canadian dollar, in which after converting the money back to Naira, I will have almost times 2 of the amount we agreed in Naira. So I always say that it is better you stay in Nigeria and work, let them send the dollar to you. Also, there's a program I came home for. Like I told my participants, SQI was one of my partners for the program when I got a grant from ACM SICAI in the United States. The money was sent as dollar. What do you expect? It should be converted to Naira. So it's actually good that because there are billings outside the country, UK. Some people are running away from UK now because of the billings. Then after you pay all this thing in Nigeria, you're only paying money, house rent yearly, but other countries you pay monthly, and if you don't pay, you understand. I'm in real estate business with some people. If they miss their payment, the landlord. So that's just what I want to contribute. Like Uncle Yemi said, I did not japa. I am in other countries so that we can bring what is there back to Nigeria, just like the last program I hosted. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. I love that. So, but from what she said, there are so many reasons why you might have to leave the country. But when she advised that it's better to receive such kind of money there and spend it here, right? Else, they used to say, "Owo ekwe egbolongbe." I must tell you, it's almost the same thing with the UK and US as well. The amount you take there is as expensive as the amount you spend as well. So it's wisdom that way. But there are other reasons. Okay, great. Pelumi, I will come to you. There are other reasons why you might want to Japan. You want an exposure. She mentioned something now that she wants to bring what is there back home, and that's something. So it depends on your reason. But if it has to do with just believing, seeing another place as heaven compared to this place, that reason has never been the best, has never been good, never. So let's have February, and then maybe that will be the last part.
All right. So I'm going to first approach it from an economic perspective. So one of the very first reasons why Nigeria is having a forex crisis and an economic downturn is because we are moving a lot of money out than I'm referring to like dollars. We're spending a lot of it to buy things abroad, and the people abroad are not spending that amount to get something from Nigeria. So, in putting it into the tech perspective now, right? When we think about the products that we buy with money, right? Whether we know it or I mean, a lot of people do not know that. In actual reality, some people are paying for the services we're using. Some people are paying for the Gmail suite. Some people are paying for I mean, if you own a tech company, right? They're paying for Jira, they're paying for Slack, they're paying for Google Meet, they're paying for a lot of softwares to ensure that their employees can stay working remotely. Now, when you put it in context, right? Let's say there are 1,000 tech companies in Nigeria, and they are paying $10 monthly. That's just an estimate. That's $10,000 that is going outside of Nigeria. And that means if we are able to build something in Nigeria and you are able to, even if it is $5 you're charging, and you're able to charge Nigerian customers, and you're able to even you're able to go global, and you charge people outside of the country, and even if your customers are only in the US and in the UK, you are going to make so much more, and it's going to affect the economic crisis. Now, imagine if there were 10 or 200 of 200 of those softwares, and that's how I think right now, especially regarding Japa. If it's something you can build in Nigeria, if it's something that can be done in Nigeria, that can be opened up to the world to use, I will advise that you do it here. You do it from wherever you are, and you let the whole world know that we can build something from Nigeria that can be scaled to the world. Now, yes, people go outside of the country because of limitations in regarding what you can do here. Now, I've talked about the economic perspective. The second is that as a Nigerian, you might be limited to some opportunities, even in international companies, except you actually move out. So you might just be limited to specific roles. You might be limited to specific benefits, right? But maybe if you move to the UK or you move to Canada or the US, you have more opportunities in the same, even in the same organization. So even when you have that opportunity, you still put it at the back of your mind that you have to build things that ensure that in the next future, people are coming to Nigeria the same way you are going to those places, right? So it has to be at the back of our mind that even when we are jackpotting for better opportunities, we have to bring those better opportunities back home. We have to ensure that we are coming back and we are able to also say in the next future, people are coming to Nigeria to come and experience big better opportunities. And that's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Okay, I just want to add this to what has been said. I found this reason why some persons choose that route of Japan. Subtly, is this desire to escape poverty. That I want to escape poverty. So they think that escaping the nation means escaping poverty, but it's not true. Many persons who live because of that disease end up in poverty stricken in even those places. So you have to be clear the reason why you want to make this. There are valid reasons why you want to do that. For some persons who have discussed that with me, I say it is better to have that trip when you are comfortable doing so. I mean, you can go and come back. You have that free flow. Not that you leave, you get poverty stricken, and to come back is now a problem. So you have to be sure of why you want to go. Don't just follow the hype of they are traveling, we are escaping. No, that's not what it is.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pedro. Mr. Ajala, I can see you're raising your hand. Can you hear me clearly? I would like to share something with us in a few minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to start with this guy's hand, right? He said, "Owo Aliko, àwọn kan wà all right." So whatever you are looking out for is also available here. I think the only major problem we have that will make one want to go to Dubai is maybe security and maybe because of kids. But after that, there's nothing you have there that you don't have. So let me give you an example. I have somebody some years ago I was collecting $40,000 a month. $40,000 a month. So if you want to calculate that, how much is that a month? So if you are earning something like that here in Nigeria and you are converting it, why do you have to? You can't put banana in your life. So it's just there are a lot of factors. It's not one answer will fit all, right? It's not going to be one answer will fit all. You can be here and be earning $10,000. So what you'll be spending, like let's say $4,000 just to maintain yourself there. And here in Nigeria, you spend even if you want an escort, like 3, 4, 6 escorts to be, going with you up and down for safety and everything, you can get that with just less than $500, which is about almost about 900,000 now. So there's no answer fits all, but I'm okay. I'm all right in this country.
Yeah, we get that. Thank you so much, Mr. Jala.
Let's appreciate our online, our SQI journals virtually, our SQI alumni journals virtually. Thank you so much, Mr. Jala. Thank you, February MindTalk. Thank you, Mrs. Oyewale. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Mr. Papa Olabi, Mrs. Nika Okepe, Mr. Tizi in absentia, and our director. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause as they go back to their seats. Yes, we are coming to the end of this event in a few minutes. I know you'll be agree with me that this has been an amazing moment. And I'd like to call on Sheyi Odefomaya for announcements and appreciation in a few minutes. Please don't stop us again.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right. So I'm not going to be taking so much of our time. I just have a couple of announcements. If
if you enjoyed this edition of Mind Talk, can I get a round of applause for yourself? Alright, so the first thing I'd like to announce is that we're going to be having a LinkedIn optimization class. Some of the things that was discussed by the director at the last Mind Talk was, if you don't put yourself out there, if people don't know the things that you are able to do, then they won't get to patronize you. So we want to be able to optimize our LinkedIn account so that you can put yourself out there. And this is going to be taught by the one and only Mercy Ajibade. And she's great at this, believe me, so many testimonies. So the class is going to be starting on the 8th of March this year, and it's going to be a virtual class. We're going to send more details regarding it. The second class we're going to be having, that is also going to be absolutely free, is a CV and cover letter writing class. Absolutely free of charge. Alright, so the next announcement that I have here is one of the things that's made me rethink the choices that I've made in life. When I started seeing someone on TikTok and all she's doing is ice cream so good, ice cream so good, and she's making, millions of dollars. So I'm going to use this opportunity to announce Multimedia Week, and can we reduce the music a bit, please? Thank you so much. So we're going to be having a free multimedia class session for every single person that is interested in it. It's going to be an entire week. It's going to be starting on the 26th of February to 1st of March. So if you are interested, all you have to do is just register, come along to SQI College of ICT, ensure you invite a couple of people, and you're going to learn how to shoot. Not with guns, of course, with cameras. You're going to learn how to edit, and then you're going to learn how to be a professional when it comes to things of multimedia. And then the final announcement, but not the least of them all, is our NID post-UTME is coming up March 15th. In case you don't know, or in case you've not been told, SQI College of ICT is an accredited school with MBTV. It means that SQI College of ICT can offer NID certificates. You can clap, this is not that easy. So this means that with this certificate, you can come into SQI, and once you get this degree, you can use that to get into any university of your choice with direct entry, and it will be absolutely accepted. Well, of course, if you pass very well, so that you not say you get third class lower, and then you use that to get a degree. Alright, so for the information of the post-UTME test is starting 1st of March 2024, and if you want to register, all you have to go, okay, it's projected. So it's starting on March. More details will be sent to our groups right after this, and all you have to do to register is to go to edu.sqi.ng/NID. So I'll call that again, edu.sqi.ng/NID. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Oluwaseyi. Thank you so much for that. All right, I would like to especially appreciate the students, the instructors of SQI Main Campus present here today. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Thank you so much for being patient with us. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm also appreciating SQI Road Campus students and instructors, SQI Dubai Campus students and instructors, SQI Abeokuta Campus students and instructors, SQI Challenge Campus students and instructors, and SQI Virtual Campus, and to our online attendees. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you next month, and as you go, always find a problem to solve. Always prepare ahead, and always make excellence in lifestyle. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you next month. God bless you. Before you leave, please connect with someone that you've always wanted to connect with. Have conversations.